The anime begins on a high school rooftop where a trio of Takashi, Rei, and Hisashi fight the zombies. While making their way to the astrology platform, Rei is ambushed by a zombie, but Takashi saves her by blowing off its head. They refer to zombies as them. Then we are thrown into a flashback from a few hours ago when Takashi, keeling over his school staircase, is musing about his childhood crush, Rei Miyamoto. She has dumped Takashi for his best friend, Hisashi Ego. Another friend, Saya, approaches him and calls him stupid for lamenting over a girl as if it were the end of the world. Little does she know, it is indeed the end of the world. After she leaves, Takashi sees a shambling man hitting the school's gate. The man also gets the attention of the school faculty. One teacher goes to stop him, but the man suddenly bites him. The bitten teacher quickly collapses on the ground but suddenly resurrects, only to attack another teacher, ensuing a ruckus in the school. Takashi is taken aback when he sees this and dashes to the classroom. He urges Rei and Hisashi to flee. Despite their doubts about what Takashi claimed, they run with him, and soon the intercom announcement confirms their suspicions. Then, the trio runs, but not before grabbing some weapons. In a matter of minutes, the zombie outburst engulfs the entire school, creating a stampede as everyone rushes in hopeless attempts to save themselves. The leading trio follows a separate route, but they are faced with a teacher, WAKASAKA, who has also been transformed into them. He ambushes Rei, and Hisashi convinces her to kill it with her spear because they are no longer humans. But, to Rei's amazement, the zombie does not die even after the spear pierces its heart. Hisashi gets bitten during the struggle but is saved by Takashi, who blows off the zombie's head, and they rush to the astronomy platform, blocking it. Takashi deduces that the only way to fight zombies in a melee is to blow their heads off. When they reach the rooftop, they see that the zombies have engulfed the entire city, not just the school. Then they notice SDF choppers and Rei waves in a vain attempt to seek rescue because the SDF is too busy to save anyone. Soon after, Hisashi starts coughing and spraying blood as the repercussions of the little bite begin to manifest on him. Takashi begs Hisashi to shove him off the ledge so he won't return as one of them. Rei and Takashi are taken aback by his pleas, and he quickly transforms into a zombie. As a result, a hesitant Takashi is forced to kill him for his and Rei's safety. Elsewhere in the school, Saya and Hirano are trying to survive the zombie attack. Saya, peeved by Hirano's suggestion, counters that cops can't help them because the zombies have already taken over Japan. They soon come into a room full of tools, where the gun-crazy otaku Hirano manages to build a nail gun and goes on a warpath, killing the zombies. Down in the school's infirmary, a nurse, SHIZUKA, is surrounded by the undead, but a level-headed martial arts expert, Psycho, steps in to rescue her. Takashi sits with Rei in despair as they bemoan the death of Hisashi. When Rei borrows Takashi's phone to call her father, a police officer, she hears that the whole country is thrown into chaos, and the line cuts. The two then decide that in order to figure anything out, they must first leave the school. They aim to travel to Takashi's house and rescue his family and the other survivors from their journey. Takashi uses the baseball bat to knock off zombies, and the two descend from the rooftop to engage in combat. On the other hand, Saya and Hirano make the same decision and continue to engage in combat until Hirano's gun runs out of ammo. It takes zombies no time to surround the duo, and Saya screams in horror. Saya's shrill scream draws the two survivor teams to the spot, where they dispatch the undead. After eradicating the zombies, they are all introduced to each other. They then proceed to a room where the news is broadcast, where they quickly discover that the situation is even worse than they had anticipated and that the virus has spread globally. Anyhow, everyone decides to leave the school and travel somewhere safe, if such a place exists at all. Saya deduces that zombies attack by hearing sound rather than sight. Takashi decides to put her idea to the test by silently strolling through the zombies, and fortunately, her theory turns out to be correct. The group then makes their way past the undead, but one crackhead unwittingly makes noise, luring a swarm of zombies. The group swiftly charge to the school gate, fighting the zombies and losing some survivors on the way. After they board the bus, they observe another group of survivors headed by a teacher, Mr. Shido, who has no issue killing others to save his own life. Rei urges Takashi not to board the bus with him, but Mr. Shido quickly rushes in and strong-arms himself as the group leader. Rei gets furious with him and walks out of the bus, followed by Takashi. Suddenly, a zombie-infested bus crashes in, separating them from the rest of the group. The pair grab a motorcycle and ride to the city, hoping to be reunited with the survivors. On their route, they come upon an abandoned cop's vehicle, from which Rei pulls a rifle, ammo, and a baton. Hereafter, A thug survivor gropes Rei at a gas station and demands the bike keys or he will murder her. Takashi pretends to go along as he says and quickly shoots him point blank, freeing Rei. They then leave the wounded thug to the zombies, attracted by the gunshot sound. While riding his bike, Takashi wonders how he became a killer in a single day. At Kansai Airport, a sniper named RIKA Minami and her team are evacuating survivors by shooting zombies. The government has closed bridges and municipal gateways to keep infected people out. The survivors' bus has been stuck in traffic for a long time, and Mr. Shido isn't helping matters by attempting to manipulate the students. Saya, Saiko, Shizuka, and Hirano, proving to be nobody's fools, exit the bus, but not before venting their fury on Mr. Shido. However, they don't have a well thought out plan and soon find themselves surrounded by zombies. Takashi and Rei appear by the stroke of luck and save the day. After eliminating the zombies, they all band together, and Shizuka, who happens to be Rika's friend, suggests staying at her nearby condo for some much needed rest. Lurking zombies outside the entrance isn't something that can stop them from entering the condo. They also notice a Humvee parked outside. Once in the condo, the group refreshes themselves, and Takashi watches on the television protesters calling it an American conspiracy and other such nonsense. The public is creating a stir, and the police have no option but to use force to maintain order at the blockade. Suddenly the barking dog outside brings their activity to a halt by drawing the undead. To make matters worse, the father of a young girl, Alice, is killed by some paranoid survivors down the street. At this, Alice's wailing attracts zombies in her direction. The group is witnessing this incident. So, Takashi plunges into the undead throng and retrieves Alice, backed by Hirano's sniper skills. He carries her on his back as the rest of the group loads the Humvee with supplies and drives it to Takashi. He reaches them with a great leap, and the Humvee plows through the crowd of undead. The group swiftly crosses a river and lands in a pretty safe spot with no zombies or survivors. The girls change out of their skivvies and into hardcore army gear. They get the opportunity to put their new weapons to the test and reflect on the situation. They then drive to Saya's house because it is the closest. The closer they approach the town, the more zombies appear, but their Humvee is powerful enough to smash through them until they reach a blind alley. They must grapple with strange weaponry while also strapping up to face the undead. They are quickly outnumbered, but the firefighters jump in and save the high schoolers. It turns out Saya's mother is leading the firefighters, and she takes the survivors group home, but Takashi and Saiko are left behind. So the newly formed duo drives an amphibious vehicle to safety, successfully ditching the undead. Then they enter a deserted dojo, where the two spend the night. During her stay, Saiko reveals that she nearly murdered a man who was pushing himself on her and that she liked hurting him. But she despises her sadistic nature and believes she is unlovable. Takashi tries to soothe her by kissing her. The next day, they manage to reach Saya's house. After this, the entire group gets some rest in the mansion, which her parents have extensively fortified. Takashi proposes that they need to decide whether they want to live in the house under strict supervision or manage the situation independently. Soon, Saya's father, Takagi, an influential political figure, appears and executes one of the zombified friends in public. When he and his men attempt to grab Hirano's weapon, the high schoolers, particularly Saya, arrive in Hirano's defense. She retorts that Hirano was there to rescue her when her parents couldn't. On the other hand, Mr. Shido has wholly duped the kids into joining his cult. He makes students believe that they are their own salvation. Then he travels to the estate, while other people in the estate speculate that Takagi is doing nothing but controlling them. Saya tries to persuade them, but it's like bashing your head against a brick wall. Meanwhile, Saiko receives a rare katana sword as a reward from Takagi for saving her daughter and as an appreciation to Saiko's father for training him in sword fighting. Soon, Shido and his minions arrive at the mansion. When she sees him, an angry Rei snaps at him, revealing why she hates him. He had Rei retake a year since his corrupt politician father demanded it while her police officer father was investigating his corruption. As Rei pulls out a pistol, Takagi intervenes. He permits her to kill Shido, but she refuses since she believes he is not even worth killing. Subsequently, Mr. Shido and his crew are banished from the sanctuary. Elsewhere, US submarines have fired a controversial preemptive nuclear missile against China, North Korea, and Russia. The space station crew is horrified by this tragedy since it will lead to the world's end. An electromagnetic pulse from a bursting nuclear weapon damages all of Japan's electrical gadgets, causing Mr. Shido's runaway bus to crash into one of the sanctuary's barriers. It causes the barricades to collapse, allowing zombies to invade the estate. Takagi's troops fight to secure the area, but they are incapable of dealing with a large swarm of zombies. Takagi chooses to send his daughter with Takashi and the rest of the group while he deals with the estate matter. Saya bids her parents farewell and goes to the rebuilt, war-hardened Humvee, evacuating the estate as it burns down. The group embarks on the risky hunt for the remaining families, but they are upbeat about their mission. The anime ends there. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the notifications if you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.